Thank you, Angela. Can you tell me what the issue was with the school district?
Yeah, absolutely. So the school district in Carroll County Schools was refusing to allow our sixth grade son to use the bathroom that coordinated with his gender and change in the boys' locker rooms, as well as go on a week-long school-sponsored camping trip that all of sixth grade went to.
What action did you take for him
So
to?
we started off just trying to talk to the principal, parent to parent, and the principal of the outdoor school where the thing tried to work with us. She butted up against the school district. There wasn't a whole lot she could do. Then we reached out to our local like PFLAG and some other resources. Carroll County doesn't have a lot of resources, but they do have a great PFLAG out there. And so got in touch with them and they recommended Free State. And we were able to connect with Free State. The first thing we did with Free State was they connected us with kind of a parent volunteer who tried to help by providing some like documentation and some we could give the school district and say, hey, you're in violation of Maryland and this is how we interpret this law and this is judges have upheld it. And we provided them that documentation and we still weren't getting anywhere, so it wasn't going back and forth. And so the lawyer at Free State then was able to send a letter of intent to the school district, basically saying, you have to do these things or we're going to have to take this to court. All of a sudden, then their lawyers, the school district's lawyers got very motivated to work out a deal with us. And they were able to work with the Free State Justice legal team to get everything we asked for.
What was your son's experience like?
It's traumatic enough that we moved, that we sold our house and moved to a whole new school district. He had a lot of anxiety around which bathroom he was allowed to use, whether his peers would see him going into the teacher's bathroom and what would they think and would they wonder. Sometimes he would go there and the bathroom would be locked. On more than one occasion, that resulted in him having to come home for the day. Because if you wait until the absolute last minute to go to the bathroom because you have so much anxiety around the bathroom and then it's all the way on the other side of the building and you get there and it's locked, accidents happen. So he also, the not being able to change for gym thing, it caused him to have a failing grade in gym class because they were saying he had to go all the way to the nurse's office to change and then come back to gym class. And so, by that point he was late every day. And it caused him a lot of stress and anxiety. So he just started refusing to do it because it was worse than, he was getting in trouble anyway. So I think he would rather get in trouble and not have to do gym class. It also, it caused him a lot of the idea of missing the sixth grade field trip. The kids started talking about this outdoor school week pretty much the first day of school. There was a parent teacher meeting about it in September. And from the very gate, they were like, oh, we'll talk about that when the time comes. And we were already having so much trouble with them. We knew that was not, we'll talk about it later, was just a way of kind of shooing it under the rug. And, there were a lot of tears. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of anxiety. And the day that the lawyer from Free State called us to tell us he could go on this trip was, it was a Friday at like 3:45, almost 4:00. And he was supposed to, his class was going Monday. They had to be at the school at like 6 a.m. So it was pretty much the last minute that we found out he could go. And there were lots of tears that day too. Tears that he was so excited, so relieved to be able to go with his friends. It's a really big kind of defining moment for these sixth graders. So I'm glad we were Free State was able to get it worked out.
So before Free State helped you, were you trying to?
We spent 6 months trying to work it out. Yeah, 6
And
months of going back and forth. And I don't think that the principal of the school was unkind, but he was just unwilling to bend. And I don't think that he saw it as it was his job to uphold how he perceived the rules of the school district to be. And we saw it as it was his job to uphold every student's right to, to be there, to be affirmed in who they are, and to, go to class, go to the bathroom, go on school trips, things that I think cisgendered students don't even think about. It caused an issue from being tardy to class, the anxiety causing him to not be able to focus on his schoolwork, him, getting so many bad demerits in gym class. In fact, there were 2 semesters that the only reason he didn't get honor roll was because of gym class. And he couldn't get good grades in gym, even when he was trying, because he never could make it on time, having to go from where he was all the way to the front of the building on a different floor to change, and then all the way back to gym. He just couldn't.
And you're not allowed to run in the hallways, so I couldn't run.
Yes, and you're not allowed to run in the hallways. He couldn't even do that. And so it was a significant school year for him. I think it was a difficult year. We were lucky to have some really great teachers, but just the school district overall was difficult to deal with.
So was this the outdoor school away from home, or did it involve like sleeping overnight?
Yeah, outdoor school is a big thing in Carroll County. All of the 6th graders go. It's like a you're growing up kind of trip. They talk about it even before 6th grade. Everybody gets excited. It's at the end of the school year. And so I think it's like a month before school gets out, or pretty close to the end of the school year. And it's a week-long trip. So they leave Monday morning. They don't come back until Friday afternoon. And they're just out in the woods being kids and exploring. And they learn a lot of really cool stuff, but it's also just like a very big event socially, right? Like everybody's excited. What cabin are you going to be in? And who's your counselor going to be? And they talk about it all year long. And for Max, I think instead of being able to enjoy that excitement leading up to it, he was scared. He was, am I going to be outed because they make me sleep in the girls' cabin? Am I not going to get to go? There was a lot of tears leading up to that, because it really looked like he wasn't, like our choice was going to be either he not go at all, or he go and not be able to spend the night with his friends and have to come home every night, which would have been horrible for him. But also the camp was 45 minutes away from us, and I work full time. My partner at the time worked for a different company. We own our own company now, but she worked for somebody else at the time. And so driving 45 minutes to drop him off, 45 minutes one way to drop him off in the morning and then to pick him up in the evening, that would have had a big impact on our work days as well. And so I think we were all really stressed out about it. It was a lot. I can't explain to somebody who's not a 6th grader how exciting this was. Like this idea, you get to go away from your parents for a week and be with all your friends, and and he almost didn't get to do that. So
yeah, you have to live through this to understand. So what would you say to a parent who is going through the same thing?
There are more resources in the community than I thought there were. I originally tried to kind of tough it out and do it all on my own. And once I reached out to the LGBT community in my community, I found just an immense amount of support that made everything easier. People that could validate the experience. Oh yeah, my trans child did this or that. There were people in the community who had adult trans children who we're like, yeah, my kid didn't get to go to outdoor school, or my child, had this struggle and this struggle. I'm so glad to see that your child is getting, and it just felt very validating. I felt a lot less alone, and it gave me a lot of strength to keep kind of pushing and fighting. And so any other parent, I think I would just say, don't try to do it on your own. Reach out to your community. Even if it's just so much as them saying, I'm here, I've got your back. Like I'm team Max too. It, it gives you the strength that you need to keep pushing.
Can you elaborate on having a lawyer who is sensitive and competent to deal with this issue related to transness?
Yeah. So the first time we came into Free State, we went into the office to meet. This is pre-COVID. I'm sure everything's a little different now, but we went into the office to meet her, and I was so guarded. It had been such a long, difficult experience of having to explain over and over again, like almost defend my decision to let my son transition at his age. And there was absolutely none of that at Free State, right? Like they were just, so we're really into Harry Potter in our family. My son and the lawyer at Free State bonded over Harry Potter in the first like 30 seconds. They spent 10 minutes talking about Harry Potter. And then the lawyer and I spoke, and what came across to me was not just that they were going to help, but she was just as upset as I was. Like, she was like, they can't treat your son like that. Like, she never misgendered. She never used the wrong name. She never made us feel like we had to be guarded. And it just was such a relief to just be able to relax and to like, oh, this person is here to help me. I don't have to force them. They're not doing it because they have to, right, or whatever. Like, they care too. And that made a huge difference. In fact, my son is an artist. He draws all sorts of things. He's an amazing artist. And when we got the decision back that he could go to outdoor school, he drew this beautiful picture, Harry Potter picture, for the attorney that helped us as a thank you, and sent her like a wonderful thank you note on his own. Like, I didn't ask him to do that. He just did that.
Yeah.
And I think that is a testament to how much she impacted us and impacted him. So it was amazing. Also, we were really struggling with his name at the time. If you have ever had to go through that, where your insurance card or your driver's license or your school records say one name, but you clearly go by a different name. It was really difficult. And we tried to hire a couple lawyers, and they didn't want to take it on. They didn't want to do a minor's name change. And Free State was able to connect us with somebody who did his legal name change as well. And, they were also like very affirming and great. So it's just nice to have that resource in our community.
Since that issue with the Carroll County, has your son been experiencing any issues similar to these?
No, we moved out of Carroll County. It was a difficult school district. I have a friend who has a trans child in that school district still, who is still having issues with bathrooms and such. I would hope that almost getting sued by us was enough, but apparently it wasn't. So, moving to Baltimore County, where the school district, they don't care. They don't care in a great way. Like, they're like, we care more about what are their grades? How can we support them? Do they need a 504, an IEP? What classes do they want to take in high school, which are the things I want my son to be focused on. I don't want him to be focused on defending his transness.